Hello everyone, dear subscribers, guests of the channel. In today's video I'm unpacking. Actually, it's already there. Because, well, there's nothing special there. It's all just lying in a ghoul. It's in a bag in a cardboard, wrapped with tape, rewound, and so on. Today we have a cassette from the company SWTXO who kindly provided me for review sent. In principle, they have already sent me a lot of things, and for this they have a huge respect in general, and so let's say respect. A small digression about the connecting rods that like Lech Piskov broke. It was NT him who broke it, but some friend of his who broke it. It's also unknown how it broke. It jumped, didn't jump, and then I have a video with other connecting rods. Just the name with SWTXO, and everyone writes that these connecting rods break. Show me at least one photo of exactly those connecting rods that I had in the last video, what they were exactly there. Broken, that's all, but today we have this cassette. We hope it won't be so fragile. Although it looks very reminiscent of all the previous cassettes that I had on my channel, and in general on Aliexpress. They're like Dick VG Sports of rock, that is, everything is very similar, plus or minus. It changes only the only thing they have is the clamping nut, that is. The marking here is SWTXO 1111T. And the tightening force is 40 N. Let me remind you that this is an 11 speed cassette, and why is it 11 speed? I asked for it to be sent because you know that I ride on the SMNX. I want to check whether he will throw this NX to the 5th star, that is, without any extensions and so on and so forth. It will be very interesting, but if you want this test so that I can test it, be sure to like this video, and if it gets 400 likes, then I will immediately shoot this video, that is, I will immediately show how, for example, this or that chain works with our NX at 1 speed. Do not confuse it with 12 speed, which many say that it has plasticine settings that get lost, and so on. That I have an NX1 with 11 speeds, everything works. I just tightened the cable once and pulled it a little. All I basically didn't do anything else like that, and in this video we'll now see what we have here in general. Of course we have the cassette is completely made of steel, as well as the clamping nut is also made of steel. Although the whole structure could have been made lighter, I made this nut, for example, aluminum. Well, maybe a couple of 10 grams could have been taken off. Damn, the cassette itself, I'm not afraid of this word, frying pan. It's even in full screen on me, almost climbs out. Quite heavy, and how much it weighs, let's probably immediately be interested and weigh it, although I looked at the seller's link. By the way, I'll leave it at this seller because the seller has different cassettes, namely, there are a lot of 11-speed cassettes, that is, different ranges from 1136 if I'm not mistaken, up to 1150, that is. Imagine about high speed 1136, that is, for example, it goes 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21 and so on, most likely. Plus or minus there, maybe a couple of teeth. And here there are such jumps, for example it goes 11, 13, 15, 18, 21, 24, 28, 32, 36, 42 and 50. That is how strong such very large jumps will be, and this may affect your feelings when you drive and switch. That is, you are driving there, for example, with 1 cadence, and when you jump from 6th to soro second, immediately, that is, you have 6 teeth cadences. So sharp, and has increased. Why? Because this is the ratio of our stars. And of course I don't know personally. I wrote on the 5th name. I don't think there are any such pro buffs. If it's just Yanni Rick, and I'll climb like that in general. We weigh 555, and with the rest of the stars and the clamping nut we get 591 G. It would seem like a heavy cassette. Well, at the same time it's light, because considering the fact that this cassette cost $30 at the time of ordering, it seems to me that this is generally almost an ideal option if she still walks the way I want. Well, that is, the EU, at least she has 2 chains and will survive it. It would be absolutely wonderful. I also want to note and point out that we have this cassette. On the aluminum Spider, we see that we have it. It's red, it's ours aluminum. Spider on expensive cassettes, how do they actually lighten expensive cassettes? They make a solid milled piece of steel, for example, and they cut it all out, and they basically don't have these internal parts. That is, it's like a conical pyramid, and due to these of all the parts cut out inside, our cassette is lighter, and this very big sprocket, for example, there is 52 or 51, like the ones in SRE and Sheeman, they make this sprocket aluminum. That is, I think you understand why aluminum is used. Because here, imagine if you remove it cleanly, this one huge steel sprocket, then the weight of the cassette will decrease, well, at least by 100 grams, probably, well, damn, I really don't know, by 100 grams. I think definitely, it will probably decrease, and if you put an aluminum one, which will weigh, well, 30 to 40 grams, most likely, that is, the weight of the cassette will be accordingly less because of this. In fact, the price will increase because many people, well, that is, cyclists, who participate in races, for them, every gram is every second. And every second is, of course, the first, second, third place prize money on the podium itself. Well, so like we are simple racers, like racers just roll for us, and this cassette will be easy for our eyes. Even if it kills and kills immediately, a cassette with a chain will kill, then I think it won't be very expensive to change, for example, a cassette in a chain, then for example a cheap and expensive cassette will kill a chain from the same SRM or Sheeman, which costs, well, twice as much as this cassette. I also want to note one of the advantages. I'll probably say in every video where there are these 3 long screws, that this cassette is collapsible, and it turns out we can. How much so? 1d3 these 4 outer stars are solid and are all held onto the aluminum Spider, but we can simply remove and replace all the rest. What does it mean to replace? If you have such a cassette, either from a friend or an acquaintance, and for example on these central stars, and he has them just new, you can just transfer them to yourself. Or, for example, there are several cassettes there, and from all these cassettes, choose one. For example, collect a more or less live one. That is, in this regard, I really like such cassettes, and not just when she stupidly says it, that is, it's already like a failure. I think I have to completely change the entire cassette. So, well done, the Chinese are doing this for now, so let's get 400 likes and I'll put this cassette on, and I'll test how it turns out, and maybe even some other one I'll put a chain there, for example, SAS, which was also sent by the same company, if of course, this video has already been released on the channel. And if it hasn't, then there will be such a small spoiler soon. Well, that's all. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and join my social networks such as Instagram, Strava, Group V, Contactee. Well, that's all.